Coach, you talked about wanting to see competitiveness, togetherness to really start this preseason off. Couldn't have asked for more from this team, especially there throughout the game, but also in the fourth quarter from that group. Can you just talk about the overall competitiveness of this team?
I agree with you. Really proud of the group. I thought we took another step today. It's what we've been building. It's what we preach every day. And I thought that the guys took full advantage of the opportunity today. There was a couple moments where I thought that the Knicks, give them credit, offensively they did some things that compromised some of our defensive principles, but we watched some of it at halftime, and I thought that the guys came out of halftime with the right amount of focus. And even in-game, trying to adjust some things in our shift activity and being open-minded to guarding different players. And I thought that you saw that, we come out in the third quarter, we have a 26-point quarter, and in the fourth quarter, when you need to kind of get back in the game, those guys that finish the game come up with a 24-point quarter. So just really proud of, I thought we chipped away little by little to keep ourselves in the game.
You talk about the aggressiveness, and we've been preaching defense throughout training camp. To see the game start off with LaMelo getting a block shot that leads to the first points, does that kind of just showcase what you're showing or wanting these guys to do?
No, for sure. And as you saw today, they're so bought in. I thought that there was just a ton of multiple efforts. I thought that there are some plays where just having the discipline, too, in transition to show your hands and allow other guys to come over and block some shots. And I thought our bigs did a great job, Nick and Taj, even Musa, when he was in there, coming over and blocking some shots and altering some things. And the guys that were in shift activity, whenever Brunson was trying to get to some pull-up twos, I thought that we also had some great corner shift activity and closeout and contest as well. So really, again, just a really good all-around defensive game from our team.
Coach, in the fourth quarter, KJ Simpson gets a steal, pushes the pace, finds Tijon for a three-pointer. Can you just talk about what you saw from this rookie class so far and how comfortable maybe they looked in this preseason game?
Yeah, defense leading to offense. I love it. Nothing makes me happier. And to see that those two rookies got a chance to play tonight in a close game and a game that we were up and you have to battle back and you find yourselves down. And I thought that they just showed you their competitive character of who they are. And, I challenged them in one timeout that we have to continue to play the way that we play the way that helped us build the lead. And I thought that we just lost our identity for a second there. And we turned it over too many times. Defensively, we were just a little bit too soft on the ball. Our reds weren't tight. They got a couple offensive rebounds. So just reminding them of who we are. And they picked it up really quickly. So KJ and Tijon are going to have a bright future, and I thought everyone got to see why tonight.
You mentioned defense turning into offense. Nick Richards had a few blocks himself, was able to give the ball to LaMelo. He pushed the pace. What did you see from the team from a pace standpoint?
Yeah, I thought our pace was good, and we were able to withstand it. One of the things that the Knicks do to you, too, is they're very physical. And so part of being able to play with pace allows them to not be able to hold and grab. If you're going to play a half-court game, it's really difficult. And I thought that our pace was able to create some early advantages to get them off of our body. And then we had a lot of layers to be able to go to within our pace. So really, really proud. And it was good to see us not have to take it out the net every time.
With Tijon specifically, you've talked about his pace being a little too amped up at times. And obviously we kind of saw that a few times tonight. How nice was it to see him settle in, knock down a couple of shots there in the second half?
It's great. And especially because he's got to simplify his game. And, it's a process of how much you were going to take on a night-to-night basis, especially on the offensive end. Like when you are out there playing right now, you're going to be playing with Melo and Brandon and Miles and some more veteran players. And so you have to be able to have really good, consistent, efficient off-ball habits. And I think that he kind of settled into that tonight. And holding his spacing, he's had a tendency in camp sometimes to slash too much or clog the paint. And he really trusted all the work that he's put in, and he found himself some good catch and shoot opportunities. And outside of the competitiveness, you saw more of his fearlessness, and that is who he is, and that's why he's going to be a game changer for this organization.
With Melo, Matt mentioned the block shot he had to begin the game. Just what do you see from him overall tonight, Melo, and just what do you want to see from him improve as you go through the preseason, if anything?
Yeah, well, he also took on the challenge of guarding Jalen Brunson at the beginning of the game. And we talked about this isn't just a preseason game. This is a hell of an opportunity to get better and to play someone else. And this is a playoff caliber team. And, he took the responsibility. He wanted that matchup at the beginning of the game. And I thought that you just saw him refusing to be screened. having multiple efforts if it was an off-ball screen or denying Brunson the ball, but then also being able to guard different people and being able to switch a little bit more. We've talked a lot about him embracing the individual pride, and it was on display tonight.
Charles, we saw the camaraderie in Summer League tonight, especially in the second half. The bench is up, rooting on some of the younger guys playing. We just talk about the close-knit team that you guys have here.
They embody Hornets DNA, and part of Hornets DNA is understanding the love and gratitude you need to have on every day. And it's the love for yourself, it's the love for your teammates, it's the gratitude for the opportunity to be in the NBA. And I think that they've just grown closer and closer. And there's just so much more love coming from each one of those guys. And sometimes it's some of the off-court stuff, but I think that as you saw today and at practice, competitiveness brings out another level of togetherness. And so when you got to battle and you got to dig down to get a stop or get an offensive bucket, you got to do it together. And they understand that they all affect each other. And so everyone's body language, everybody's response to every play is really important. And so I'm just proud of how the togetherness and camaraderie continues to grow.
Is that something that comes organically, or is that something that is being like preached from the top down?
It's both. It's definitely preached, but it's also something that they take accountability for and they take ownership of. This is, their team, and if they want to go far and you want to have sustainable success, there's a level of togetherness that you have to have. There's a ton of pressure. There's a lot of different factors that are going to come into every game and every practice, and I think the more that we can just continue to build each other up, to hold each other accountable, and everyone thinks accountability is like yelling at each other. Sometimes accountability is just saying, hey, this is what we want to accomplish, and you're either doing the right things to help us accomplish it or you're not doing the right things. And they've realized that, and I think they've taken to it.
Charles, you talked at camp about Trey Mann making an impact both on offense and on defense. What did you think about how he carried that over to tonight?
I thought he just had another great day, and you guys got to see him guard, I thought, at a really high level, his shift activity coming in. And I kind of want to see how many rebounds he had, too, because I thought that he, stuck his nose in there for a couple of rebounds. He's got 3 defensive rebounds, it looks like. So I just think Trey is, he knows who he is as an offensive player. We've talked more about how do you get more catch-and-shoot opportunities. Can you play off the ball? Because as you saw with the ball, he's really dynamic. And his playmaking skills for himself and for his teammates is really good. But I've continued to be impressed with his defense, too. Thank you, guys.